Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, my friends. I'm Phil, and I'm going to be walking you through how to play Deck the Halls, a Christmas classic. And in this arrangement, it's the intermediate easy level, and it's a shortened version of the song, so we can get through the entire main theme from front to back one time. And this is accessible enough for you to learn and be able to play it in time for the holidays this year. I'm going to walk you through it in detail, but first let me just go ahead and play it for you so you have a sense of what we're going to be learning together. Then we'll get started. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, that's it. You guys ready to get started? Let's look at the right hand first, and just the first phrase. It goes like this. First, we're going to get our hand in this position right here, with our pinky on C, 1 octave above middle C. So here's middle C. We want our pinky here and our thumb on F. And in this arrangement, we're in the key of F. So F, and then the 5th scale degree of F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. F and C are going to be our most important notes, our most common notes through this arrangement. It's also worth pointing out the key signature here. You see that 1 flat floating up there? Well, that flat tells us that all B's are automatically flattened, which means we're going to lower it by 1/2 step to the black key, just to the left and behind it. So that means our 5-finger position for this whole first phrase is thumb or first finger on F, second finger or pointer on G, third finger or middle on A, ring finger or 4th finger not on B, but on B flat, and then pinky or 5th finger on C. So go ahead and get your hands up there with me. Walk up and down through this position. F, G, A, B flat, C. And back down, C, B flat, A, G, F. Now for the most part, we're going to be contained in this position through the whole arrangement, but there will be a couple of variations. We'll get to that. In this first phrase, though, we are fully in this 5-finger position. So let's get started with the melody. Our first note is C with our pinky. Then we have B, but remember, it's B flat because the key signature tells us all B's are flat. Then we have 3 on A, 2 on G, next measure, thumb on F. So right away, this melody has us starting at the top of our position and walking down. And the rhythms are a little bit different. They go like this. All right, so the first note is a little longer. The second note, that B flat, is a little shorter. And then we're even from there. Okay, we'll get into the rhythms in more detail in a bit, but for now, let's keep going. Next measure, we have F, G, A, F. Okay, next measure, we have some 8th notes, which means we're going to be moving a little quicker. G, A, B flat, G, A, hold this one longer, G, F, second finger briefly reaching over to E, thumb staying on F, we're going to return right back to F. So I said we're going to be in this 5-finger position, but we're just very temporarily moving our second finger over to here, and we're right back to F. We're not jumping around in big leaps. We're just sort of stretching out a bit further, okay? So when we get there, we're going to keep our thumb on F. We're going to kind of pivot the rest of our fingers over so they're comfy and relaxed. Second finger will play E, but notice my thumb is staying here. It's not coming out because we're going right back to that F. And when we do, the rest of our fingers will go back to our original position. Now we're going to be looking at the left hand for the same first phrase that we just practiced the right hand for. The left hand throughout this arrangement is going to be playing block chords. Now a chord is, of course, when we play more than one note at a time. This particular type of chord is called a triad because it has 3 notes, but don't worry so much about that. What I want you to focus on is the fact that it's a block chord, which means all the notes within the chord are played at the same time. Okay, instead of something like this, which would be called a broken chord. For this arrangement, we're staying focused on block chords, and for the most part, we're going to be playing a lot of F major chords. That's this one here, F, A, and C. And in fact, that's the first chord we see on screen, F chord. If you focus on the chord symbol above the notation, you can see that letter F. That's a sort of shorthand shortcut to remind you that's an F chord. Second chord on screen, another F. The next one looks a little different. It goes like this. Okay, we keep our thumb on C, middle C by the way, but our other two fingers drop down. So our hand position is going to sort of pivot at the thumb. These four fingers are going to reach down, and our pinky and middle finger are going to play E and G. Put it all together. This is a C chord with an E on the bottom, hence the chord symbol C over E, or C/E. So let's review. Back to F major. We have our fifth finger, our third finger, and our first finger, F, A, C. We then shift our four fingers that are not our thumb down by one white key, and then we play the same fingers, 5, 3, 1. Let's go back and forth between those two chords a few times. F, C over E. F, C over E, okay? So in this arrangement we have F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4. C over E, rest, rest, back to F. Okay, once we do that, just like the right hand, the first half repeats for the second half, so we'll do that much again. We're looking at the grand staff now, and of course that means the treble staff for our right hand and the bass staff for our left hand are stacked up. This is telling us we're playing with both hands at the same time. And that's really what this lesson is about. The first step is, of course, making sure each hand is feeling good on its own. You know your positions. You know your rhythms. You know where you're gonna switch fingers, right, in that hand position change. Left hand, same thing. You know your position, you know your chords, you know when you're gonna be shifting your position a little bit, you know when you're resting. That's the crucial first step. Then we come to here, and our work to be done is to figure out when the hands play their parts together or when they play them separately. Maybe one is holding while the other one's playing. Maybe one is resting while the other one's playing. Let's go through that now, okay? Let's get into position for the right hand and then left hand. Right away on the first beat of the first measure, we can tell the hands are playing at the same time. And since the left hand has whole notes that hold for 4 counts, we're going to be holding our left hand while we move on with the right hand. When we get to measure 2, the hands play together again. And then again, left hand holds while the right hand plays. Now, right hand is about to start playing some eighth notes, moving a bit quicker. Left hand also switching to C over E. Ready? Now, importantly, left hand rests when the right hand gets to this A. Still resting in the next measure, right hand reaches over, and then when it plays F again with its thumb, that's when the left hand comes back in to play together. We quickly start the next measure the same way as we started the first half. And right now I'm just walking through everything out of time. It's okay to pause and have little gaps for now. Crest in the left, and then together. Once you do that a few times, your next step is to try and remove those gaps, but you can still keep it super slow. We want no gap here, but you can still go nice and slow like this. Okay, and so on. Then, when you're feeling ready to do it in time with me at the slow tempo with our Christmas orchestra, you can meet me here and we'll do it now. 1, 2, here we go. Yes, good job. That's it. So when you're ready, we'll go full tempo now. But I will say, if you guys like the slow tempo, there's no reason why you can't play it or even perform it at that speed for fun on your end. Tempo is sort of subjective. There's no one correct tempo. If you want to play along in the app, it's a good challenge to build yourself up to a certain tempo. But the ultimate goal is to play and have fun with this stuff, to have fun at this instrument. And this slow tempo, in my opinion, is beautiful as it is as well. Okay, having said that, here we go now, full speed. 1, 2, ready, go. Yes, that's it for phrase 1. It's your turn again, so move on, get some practice there, and make sure you take your time with your practice. Use the tools that you have at your disposal here in the app, like the tempo controls. If there's a certain measure that's giving you extra challenge, you can highlight that measure or those couple of measures and loop the tricky parts. Another great learning tool. Take your time and have fun with it, and I'll see you on the other side when we're ready to get into phrase 2.